We'll call the City of Hawarden, City Council, Hawarden, Iowa, to order on Wednesday, May the 9th at 5:30 p.m. in 2018. Council members are all present. Those that are with us this evening, welcome. If you wish to have conversation or direction or talk with the persons up here, your opportunity for that will be at number 1C, Open Business from the Community, as we do not at this point have any public hearings. The first standard agenda item, number 1A, is approval of the April 25th, 2018 City Council meeting minutes. Council members have had those in your packets since Friday. Is there a motion for approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor then of the approval of the April 25th, 2018 City Council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Next is approval of claims for tonight's meeting. I'll start to my left with Rob for questions.
No question.
Okay. Jen, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. John?
None, thanks.
Travis?
None, thank you.
Okay. Tim?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis for the approval of the May 9th claims for payment. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Next, we have agenda item number 1C, open business from the community.
My name is Logan Veen Streggy. I would like to bring to the attention raising of the speed limit on the 16th Street from 25 to 30 or 35 miles an hour. From my experience, it has been fairly slow for that, and most people, from what I've heard, drive a little faster than that anyway. That's about all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Logan. Corey, can you give any direction with speed limits within the city of Hawarden? Just for nothing in regards to rules, but just general conversation.
Sure. Given 16th Street and where it's located within the corporate city limits, it's difficult to increase that speed limit there because it is a residential area. Granted, there may be people that use that as a means to drive a little bit faster because it's straight, there's no stop signs, things like that. It's allowed to help the flow of traffic, not to increase the speed of it. The problem is that you take somebody coming from a semi-controlled intersection, let's just say it like Avenue L, and they're at a stop sign, and they go out to into the intersection. Now you have a vehicle that's traveling 35 miles an hour, and it's been proven that people see a posted speed limit, they go faster than that. So now if we raise it to 35, and people are going 37, 40 miles an hour, they're going to have a lesser time to react to that vehicle that's pulling out in front of them, which could cause accidents. And our job here at the city is to try to maintain as much safety as we can for each and everybody. And we have French Park also that's right there on 16th Street. That means kids are coming, they're going, riding bikes. When you were young, just like myself and almost everybody in here, we probably didn't pay as much attention as we can. So that's why the speed limit is designed for 25, and hopefully that helps answer some of your questions.
Thanks for presenting to the council. If, as when someone presents to the council, we do not make any direction or make any vote on that this same evening because we're just taking in the information. So you've given us some information, and if any of the city council members want to pursue that or talk with Chief Corey and Jim Pickner, they may do that the next couple weeks just because we've had comment from you. So thank you very much for that. Anyone else for open business from the community? Hearing none, we'll move then to the mayor's report. My wife and I were honored to attend the graduation for the Strengthening Families program the other evening. That's a great program in conjunction with the Iowa State University Extension program and the local schools held up at the Teen Center. It's quite a commitment for those parents and the family members. It's a 7-week program, so we were honored to be a part of that. Also, in regards to graduation, this month obviously is high school and college graduation. So we wish the best to all of those graduates from West Sioux and those folks that attend Unity from here in our community and those folks that have made their way through college at this point. Also a time here in May that we're going to have a number of retiring teachers from our West Sioux school district specifically. And many of them have been here and been part of the school system for many years and touched a lot of lives. So we wish for them a happy retirement and congratulations to that. And lastly, thanks for you folks from the government class for being with us tonight. We think it's important that you learn how local government works, and I hope, be my hope that when you get through your college or through your higher education, then you get to be a part of the community, that you get involved in the community, whether it's in local government or different organizations that are part of the community. So thanks for being with us tonight. We'll move then to council comments. Anything from the council this evening? Hearing none, we'll start. Anything from Pam?
No, thank you.
Okay, thanks. I know you've been still kind of training with the software system and things, and they've
Yeah.
been coming and still very helpful with that?
Very helpful, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Tom Kane, Department of Public Works, please.
We had our outage last weekend. It was a little iffy early in the day, but the lightning quit, so the lineman went ahead with it. It went about 5 hours. It went very well. And I just want to thank our linemen for doing the work. We got a lot of work done while the power was out, and it was safe to work on certain circuits. They didn't have to do hot work with it. Everything went good with NIPCO and their crew, and I've not had a lot of feedback on it, so it must be okay with the community. Citywide cleanup looks to be a big success by the pile down there. And I'm guessing there'll be 22 to 25 dumpsters full, which will be a little above our average. Mosquito larvicide, I put that out every year, and I do it in the storm sewers and any standing water that I can find around town that is 4 foot or less and stagnant, so to speak. Try to keep our mosquito population down. The storm sewers are notorious for having standing water in them. We had a tree inventory done last fall, and we've went through the preliminary results with that, and we got a pretty good report. Was that yesterday or the day before? I guess we had it. And we'll be giving you more information on that and hopefully some direction with some of the tree plantings and some planning for the future with that. We do have about 25% ash trees in the city right-of-ways, parks, cemetery, and golf course. So, which did not sound out of the ordinary, I guess, percentage-wise. So we'll have to do a little planning with that with the ash borer. It will be here at some point. That's all I have.
Tom, at one time, I think citizens could come in regards to the standing water and the mosquito things and pick up mosquito tablets or whatever to put in that. Is that still available?
We still have those.
Okay,
We'll
so-
continue to. And if they have a larger area, I have some 6-month briquettes, and that's what I put in our storm sewers. So
So they could come if they need to, if they've got.
we'd be happy to help them out with that. You bet.
Thank you.
On the north end of town, where all the trees, where we planted going out of town, is there any program to replant anything where so many of them have died?
We did. That was a Trees Forever program, and if you look at those, there's probably half a dozen trees that are the size they should be. And I'm not sure if that was, the soil is that bad there between the railroad and the state right-of-way, if they stripped all that out when the roads or the rail bed was put in. But it's like there's something wrong with the soil, I think. Some of them are just stunted.
So I was wondering, it looks terrible for
We
all the
could-
trees and all the work we did to put.
We could try another Trees Forever grant, but I don't know if it would, I just don't know if they'd grow out there. We watered them for 2 years straight. We had a couple dry years when we planted them, but we had quite a few survive. But they keep dying as we go along.
And just a reminder then with citizens, if they're thinking of planting trees, obviously this spring they need to call in before they plant and.
We'd have some recommendations for them, yes. So,
Okay, And also call in for the digging before they do that.
811, yes.
Okay, thank you. Mike DeBryan, City Administrator, please.
Jim and I have been working with Northwest Iowa Planning on some zoning updates. They just emailed us today with some of the recommendations that we're looking at. So with those, after we read through them, and if we think they're okay, then they got to go to planning and zoning for their approval before they come to council, and then you guys will be able to look at them and either approve them or disapprove them. But they're also updating our maps, which is going to be a great help. They sent some examples out today where you can actually see what's underneath the colors rather than the other ones you could just see colors. So Lifeguard update, we've got a few applications. I think I've confirmed 4 that are actually taking the class. There's a class coming up next week in Sioux Center at the All Season Center. And so I know I've got 4 signed up. There's other applications that have been turned in. I just haven't heard back whether the others have signed up or not. So hopefully we can get that worked out. And then I want to thank Travis and John and Jen for attending the SMART conference last week in Des Moines. So very, very beneficial to go to those conferences, their economic development conferences, and I think that if that's a path we want to go on, the more knowledge that we get, the better off we're going to be. So,
I appreciate everyone attending those also, and would hope that we could maybe some evening at a city council meeting just have maybe a roundtable and give some discussion to kind of what you saw and what you learned, and how maybe we can, if you're thinking of trying to implement some of those ideas here in the community. So those of us that weren't able to attend those have kind of the same knowledge base if we could.
that'd be great.
And so the mirror and the Speedo thing must have worked to get those lifeguard people to apply. Huh?
You know, I've heard some fear of that, yes.
Good. That's a great thing. My wife was concerned. So see Pam walks out on that.
Yeah. Out of here.
Thanks, Pam. It wouldn't be that bad. Well, might be. Mr. Pickner, anything from your point of view tonight?
No.
All right. Corey, please, Chief of Police.
Yeah, I wanted to also touch base on what Tom said about the cleanup. I think it was a success. We noticed that there was a lot of the properties that we were watching and getting notices out that had been cleaned up. So kudos to those people that took advantage of that. One of the other things we've been noticing a lot of are these vehicles that are in people's yards that aren't currently registered. Most people don't understand that that is defined as a junk vehicle. They have to be in proper registration, up to date, or in storage, and storage means stored with a roof over the top, basically put away. And so we have had a lot of questions about that. But on the other hand, we've had a lot of people come in and thank us for letting everybody know about that. I think the city did a good job of letting everybody know about the cleanup, and I've seen a lot of people helping each other out, so it was a good deal. I also attended one of the Iowa State Extension meetings today about the opioid epidemic, and we kind of had a little table talk conversation about what we can do to plan ahead, if it does happen to make its way here into our jurisdiction. So it was very informative, and the Iowa State Extension's office does a pretty good job at bringing that kind of stuff to our attention. So.
Those tabletops resume again tomorrow, I understand.
Correct.
Other topics.
Yes.
Was there a good attendance today?
There wasn't. I know there's a lot of things going on, today, and but I'm anticipating there's going to be a lot more. I know they went back to the school this afternoon, so maybe people caught up there at the afternoon one.
Thank you very much. Anything else? Any questions for staff from council before we move on? Hearing nothing else, we'll move to other agenda items. Number 3, again, Resolution 2018-16, resolution proposing to vacate the alley and thereafter sell the vacated alley to John Coyle, directing publication of notice and setting a date of hearing on May 23rd. We had passed this at a previous meeting, did not get published following that, so we're starting again. So same resolution we've passed, so I would entertain a motion for Resolution 2018-16.
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2018-16.
Kurth.
Aye.
Clocky.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2018-16 passes. Agenda item number 4, presentation of the fiscal year 2018 budget amendment, and set a public hearing on the budget amendment for May 23rd, and then publish the public hearing notice. We'll turn this to Mike, please.
Every year, we got to do a budget amendment. When we set our budget at the beginning of the year, it's kind of an estimation of what we think is going to take place throughout the years. Throughout the year, something always comes up, or something, revenues were figured either lower or higher, expenses were figured either lower or higher. So the state requires us to do a budget amendment to true everything up before May 31st. So this year, some of the things that came up were some grants that came in that weren't budgeted for, so we got a budget for those revenues and also expenditures. We had resurfacing the alleys was not budgeted for. So it's basically things that aren't budgeted for that come up. Also, if, like this year, if we sell extra gas or we sell extra electricity because it was so cold, then those revenues also have to be budgeted for. So this budget amendment basically trues up what we set out to do July 1st, and it makes it more accurate at the end of the year.
And again, this budget amendment, again, not really out of line to past amendments, past years.
No, there was really nothing startling or really out of line on this budget amendment. I would say it's a fairly normal budget amendment that we've passed in previous years.
Okay, are there questions for Mike?
So moved.
Okay, there's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. This motion is to present the budget and then to set the public hearing on the budget amendment for May 23rd and publish public hearing notice. Need a roll call vote or just a voice vote, Mr. Pickner?
Roll call.
Roll call vote, please, for this.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clocky.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, we will set the public hearing for May 23rd for the budget amendment. Some of us were able to be at the Old City Hall. This is in regard to agenda item number 4, replacing the sidewalks on the north and east side of the Old City Hall. Can you kind of give us a little bit of an overview of the building and how that's our sidewalk? Because it is.
You know, we own the Old City Hall. We've owned it since it's been built. There's some renovations that are going on in that building. The sidewalks around the outside of the building are extremely deteriorated. There's if you look up in the picture, I got some pictures up here. There's a downspout that comes up. It's supposed to hook into a pipe and then drain down into the storm gutters. That's been disconnected for quite a while. I would say there's probably a 4 to 6 inch drop that the sidewalk has sunk. The curbing all along there is shot. It's basically the sidewalk has become a real hazard. Not only a trip hazard, but in the wintertime on the north side of that building, the snow can't be removed properly because of all the different elevations of the broken concrete. So what happens is it's just a sheet of ice. And so we've talked about it for a couple of years to replace those sidewalks. We did get one bid to replace it. That's in your packet. And that includes all the concrete in this picture you see here is on the south side of the building, goes back to the building. So we would be looking at from the edge of the Pizza Ranch all the way around the building to the alley. And that includes the curbing on the north side. The curbing on the Main Street side is in fairly good shape yet, but the curbing on the north side is shot. And so that would be, the bid is to redo all that. We did not include any bids for the steps at this time. So we did have one contractor come down and look at it and gave us a bid, and his bid was $35,400. With the, once you go and look at it and see the amount of square footage and concrete there is, it's, you know, probably it's what it's going to cost. You know, there's a lot of cement there. There's a lot of work to take it out and then to put it back in along with the curbing. It's actually under what Tom and I thought it would be, probably by about $5,000. So when we looked at the bid, we were like, that's pretty good, but you know, when you look at it and didn't estimate it out, it's, you know, it's a chunk of money. So we're looking for direction on what you want to do with that. We do own it. We are required to maintain it. You know, we do have some liability if somebody falls, gets hurt, or something on it. So
That light pole on the north side in that picture will be coming out on function
Correct.
at this point.
And we would put a knockout area in, so when we did put a light back in there, depending on what we do for lighting, we can take it out and get a screw-in anchor down without disrupting a large section of the concrete.
Okay.
That's kind of our plan if we go that route.
when we take that out, we're going to have to run conduit once they get it out, because there's problem with right now wiring underneath that for that light pole. So,
Some of that wiring burned up this winter.
and we have no way to get to it at this point, so.
Go for it.
I'll make a motion that we get it fixed.
Got a motion by Rob, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Further questions or clarifications?
Do we need a second bid for the project, or can we go with one?
We can
Technically?
go with one, you don't have to, it's below
Yeah.
the requirements.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could
Good, thank you for the
get
question.
quotes, but you don't need to.
All in favor of the motion for doing the cement work around the old city hall, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Agenda item number 6, this would be a resolution 2018-17. Mike, in discussion, is asking for this to be tabled for
Yes, if we could
background?
table this for an extended period of time until we get more clarification on it from our bond counsel, I think that would benefit us.
Make a motion to a table indefinitely.
So moved.
In a motion by Travis, seconded by John, to table resolution 2018, agenda item number 6. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Consent agenda, liquor license transfer to the Hayward Community Center, also a liquor license transfer to the Community Center from the Eagles, and then a clubhouse renewal Class C liquor license. As these are on our agenda, they're all, everything's up to date with paperwork and so forth?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion for the consent agendas?
So moved.
Moved by John, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of the consent agenda, item number 7, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Our next regular stated meeting will be Wednesday, the 23rd of May, again at 5:30. These folks will need a picture with us after this. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by John, seconded by Travis.
Tim?
Tim, excuse me.
Whatever, somebody.
Somebody to my right.
Yeah.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you very much.
You guys? We'll find it.